Okay, so we're in a home affordability crisis, but what does that even mean? I think this Bloomberg article does a really good job of breaking down all of the factors that have contributed to the current situation we're in when it comes to housing and how it is kind of reshaping people's relationship to the American dream and just like owning a home. So you should read the entire article if you're interested, but essentially what's happening is that we have not built enough housing since the 2008 financial crisis. On top of that, people with low mortgage rates that they got during COVID time are not selling because then they would have to buy in at current rates. On top of this, there are government policies that make building and buying more expensive every year. A lot of that has to do with zoning and other housing reform policies. And add on top of all of this, climate disasters that are destroying home values in entire regions, displacing people, forcing them to move to other places. Plus, there's like a rising cost of actually maintaining property. And that is contributing to the fact that so many people feel like they cannot afford to buy a home. And on top of this, owning a home, at least in America, is seen as one of the core pieces of the American dream. So, what happens when people can't afford that anymore? I mean, for decades, we've been told work hard, save up, buy a house, build wealth, right? Do these things and you'll be okay. Except now people are doing the things and home ownership is still very out of reach because the math doesn't work anymore for people. And I think this creates this idea in people of like, what is the point of participating in this entire economy if it's not going to give me the outcome? You know, the implicit contract of capitalism is like, if I work hard, I will be able to succeed in America. And like, what happens when that breaks down? Like, what's the point? And so much of traditional advice is saying in order to build long-term wealth, you need to delay gratification, right? You need to like build wealth slow and steadily over time. Well, people feel like they can't build wealth anymore, what's the point in delaying that gratification? Why not just spend it all now? And I think that's a really good example of how these broken systems create very irrational financial behavior. And this doesn't just affect people's spending, it affects their entire concept of what financial security even means, right? Like if home ownership is off the table, what is making it even look like? You know, what are you even working towards? And this is one of the main topics I write about in my newsletter about kind of how all these systemic and internal forces shape how we think and about money and how we handle money. So if you're interested, the link is in my bio.